Hello. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Marigold Manor. I'm laughing because I just tried filming this in my bedroom and it was like kind of dark in there. It was like making me really sleepy. So I had to come out into the living room to chat with you guys before I actually fell asleep and like took a nap. And also, I've mentioned so many times now, the neighbors are getting work done and you can see into my bedroom from one of their windows, and there are people in that window like working on the house, and so they were watching me film, and I was like, this is just not gonna work between like me needing to like take a nap and these two men like doing their work but also watching me film. Like, this is not gonna work. So we have moved into the living room. Hello. welcome. And I'm excited because just getting into the sunlight, I already have a little bit more energy. In today's video, I really want to talk about hosting. And I want to talk about it from the perspective of like just kind of like more realistic hosting content. I, in the last couple of years, have seen an increase in hosting content creators. And it's under like, I would say the umbrella of lifestyle, but then there are these videos that they'll post usually to TikTok or even Reels. And it's these young women who are like hosting these gorgeous parties and events, and I love it so much, but like when I host, it doesn't look like that. Like, yeah, of course I want it to be cute and pretty and aesthetic, but I'm not someone who has like 15 friends who are gonna come over for like a monthly dinner party. My silverware and my dinnerware like often doesn't match, and like I think I just look at it a little bit differently. Like when I'm hosting, I don't look at it as like an aesthetic thing. I look at it as a community building thing. But I just feel like some of this content sometimes, because this happens to me, it makes me feel like what I'm doing isn't enough and like isn't good enough, isn't pretty enough, isn't aesthetic enough. And with the holiday season coming, I wanted to make this video because I wanted to encourage you guys that like you don't have to be rich, you don't have to be a perfect host in order to welcome people into your life and into your fold and into your home. Like, all you need is a giving heart, all you need is a few good recipes and a few like solid people who are gonna come and enjoy time with you. And that's what I think hosting is about. So, and this is no shade on like creators who make that sort of like very elevated hosting content. I have a podcast episode about this on Patreon. I call it The New Hosting Obsession. And I was talking about how it seems like there's this race right now to figure out who's gonna be the new Martha Stewart ever since her documentary came out. It really does feel like sometimes it's this competition of like who can be the most Susie homemaker, like the most elevated homemaker or hostess. I love that for them and I'm happy for them and like good for them. But my hosting does not look like that. And I don't think that that's a bad thing. And I just wanted to make this video because with the holidays coming up, like I want you guys to know that you don't have to have like a perfect kitchen, a perfect house, or perfect clothing or make like super complicated recipes or like really professional looking recipes in order to invite people into your home. So I want to talk about some of the misconceptions about hosting and what we can do instead and how we can enjoy the holiday season as hosts and hostesses without spending a bunch of money and without feeling like it has to be perfect, because I think that's a trap that a lot of us fall into. So that's what we're talking about in today's video. If you are new here, hi, welcome to Marigold Manor. On this channel, I like to do a little bit of everything. I like to do a little cooking, a little homemaking, a little hosting, and I try to do things from the vantage point of like it being realistic. That's kind of my shtick. Welcome if you're new, and if you're not new, hi, welcome back. Please consider hitting the red subscribe button. I really just at this point want to see if I can make it to 20,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We'll just see. It's not looking like it, but like if you feel so inclined to hit the red subscribe button, that would be great. And if not, that's okay too. I'm still happy you're here. So let's talk about some of these misconceptions about hosting. The first one is that you have to have a very large house. I think a lot of the content that I've seen around hosting is people who have very large, beautiful homes and these gorgeous like kitchen islands and things like that. And I love that. It's so gorgeous. It's stunning. We love. You don't have to have that in order to welcome people into your home. And actually, some of my favorite parties that I've ever been to have been in small, homey apartments like in the city or in someone's hometown, and there's a lot of people and it's a small space, but it's like packed with love and fun and just a feeling of community. My husband and I went to a party recently. It was a birthday party in San Francisco, and it was at this adorable, like, small apartment, and the man whose birthday it was, he's from Brazil, so he had like a bunch of his Brazilian friends there, and everyone was speaking Portuguese, and everyone was just like laughing and yelling, and people were drinking wine and talking, and the lights were low, and there was like candlelight, and the kitchen had, you know, there was food all over the place. The kitchen was a lived in and used kitchen. Like, it wasn't, there was no air of trying to feign perfection, and it was so much fun. We had such a good time. You don't have to have like a super big space in order to host people. If you want to host and you don't have a super large home, all you have to really worry about is like, where are people gonna stand, where are they gonna sit? Just like have a couple chairs out, have some couches out, and like, you know, organize things in a way that the flow makes sense, but like it doesn't have to be huge. And also, like, when you host a party, a lot of times people just kind of meander. Like, they'll find a place to set up shop, like they'll find a place to stand, or they'll find a place to sit, and it'll be fine. Of course, it's beautiful and wonderful if you have a large, luxurious home and a gorgeous kitchen island, and all of that stuff is great. And I'm not even saying that like you don't want to work towards that one day. Like, I would love to have a kitchen island one day. Do you know, I have like no counter space in this kitchen. I would love to have an island or a butcher block or something, which I might actually purchase a butcher block, but that's besides the point. You can work towards those things, but if you don't have that right now, that's totally okay. It doesn't mean that you're not like worthy of welcoming people into your home. And just because you're not hosting like in the Hamptons or, you know, in Martha's Vineyard or one of these very like elevated places, that doesn't mean that like what you have to offer is any less than. It's just as good, it's just as worthy, and it's just as beautiful and warm, so long as you're doing it from a loving and welcoming place. The next misconception about hosting is that everything has to be matchy-matchy. And what I mean by that is like, a lot of times when you see hosting content, you'll notice that the place settings are all exactly the same, right? Like, same chargers, same dinner plates, same salad plates. And that's great if you want to invest in a 12-piece, you know, set for when you host. But personally, I like to gather things over time through thrifting and antique shopping and finding pieces that really speak to me and then putting them together in a very mismatched way. Whoopi Goldberg actually has a book where she talks about this, and it's called The Unqualified Hostess. I have the book, and I love how she talks about like things don't have to match. Like, nothing has to match. It's okay. You don't have to go out and spend however many hundreds of dollars on a set for several people just so that it can match. You can use what you have. You can thrift. You can go to antique shops and find things that speak to you and that speak to your style and what you like. You don't have to buy something random in order to host a party. Use what you have, and you can make it pretty too. Like, can make flower arrangements that have like the colors of the various plates in your arrangement. That's something that I really like to do. Another thing I like to do is tie ribbon around my silverware and just make a cute little bow. You can, during the holiday season, you can use like pine, and you can put a little sprig of pine or a little sprig of rosemary on each plate. Like, you can unify your settings without having each setting be exactly the same, if that makes sense. Like, you don't have to have the same exact plates and, you know, and cutlery, but you can have one element that unifies everything. That can be your focus instead of feeling bad that like your plates don't match. It's okay if your plates don't match. Okay, the next misconception about hosting is that it always has to be a lot of people. I feel like when I see the hosting content these days, a lot of it is, you know, host with me for my like monthly dinner party, or host with me for some dinner party where 15, 20 people are coming. And I love that. I don't know how people can do that on a monthly basis. I really don't. Just like financially, and also like how are you guys all, how are your schedules all lining up every month? It takes me and my friend, like, we are planning things months in advance because of our schedules. And maybe it's like an age thing. Maybe like when you're in your 20s and you're, you know, possibly not married, you don't have kids, you don't have the same responsibilities, like have a little bit more freedom. And then once you're in your 30s, you have more responsibility, and so you're not you know, it's harder to get on the same schedule as your friends. At least that's been my experience. I have things on the books with my friends that have been on the books for months on end, because otherwise we just would never see each other. And I'm not okay with that. Hosting does not have to be like some sort of Olympic event. You don't have to have so many people all the time, every month, or, you know, even for your holiday party. You don't have to have 30 people at your holiday party. If you want to have a holiday party and just invite 4 people, that's fine. That's good. Invite 5, 6 people. You can keep it small. You can keep it intimate. You can keep it quaint. It doesn't have to be like a big bash every single time. If you just have 3 people eating pasta around a dinner table, that's a party. That's intimacy, that's love, that's connection. You don't always have to have a big group of people in order to have a party. Okay, so the next misconception is that you have to cook everything from scratch. I think that in watching a lot of Martha-esque content, I think we start to think that everything has to be cooked from scratch. And when I have seen a lot of hosting content recently, everything's cooked from scratch. There's a content creator named Nara Smith, and she kind of popularized, okay, let me back up. I wouldn't say she popularized cooking from scratch, but she really went viral for being very like luxurious and cooking everything like from scratch, to the point where people were making parody videos of like making bubble gum from scratch, because it just got to that point. I love cooking from scratch. I love knowing where my food is coming from, and just and having the satisfaction of knowing that I cooked something from scratch. Like, there really is no better feeling. But when it comes to hosting, putting the pressure and expectation on yourself to cook everything from scratch, I feel like is a recipe for disaster. Pun intended. You don't have to cook everything from scratch. You do not have to make your pasta dough from scratch, make the bread from scratch, make everything from scratch. All that's gonna do is put unnecessary pressure on you. If you want to do that, my advice would be to start prepping your food and your menu days ahead, days in advance. If you know that you want to cook pasta from scratch on the day of the party so that it's extra fresh, you can do that. But figure out what other elements of your meal you can make ahead of time so that you don't have to be rushed on the day to be cooking everything from scratch, and then your kitchen's a mess and you have to be doing dishes like constantly as you're cooking, because that's the only way that you can really get through it. Like, try and make things simple for yourself. Like, hosting does not have to be complicated. It does not have to be complex. It doesn't have to be this like perfect, again, like Brie Vandekamp-esque sort of moment all of the time. Sure, of course we can do that sometimes and have fun with that sometimes. And who doesn't want to be known as like the Susie homemaker who like comes with like perfectly baked muffins or pies or whatever? Like, of course we all want to be in our homemaker era every once in a while, but you don't have to do that in order to have a great party. And again, most people don't care. You can make some things from scratch and people are really gonna love it, and then other things you can buy at Costco or Safeway. And no one's gonna know the difference. They're just gonna enjoy being with you and being around you and being around friends and family and community. So don't put that pressure on yourself to cook everything from scratch, because it's just going to stress you out. And finally, my last misconception about hosting, and this I think is the most important one, is that the host has to be stressed out the entire time, like during the entire party. We've all been to a party where the host just seems stressed, like she is running around, you know, trying to put the finishing touches on things, and like nothing's quite ready and all of that sort of stuff. Like, you don't have to be that person. And I think if you look at hosting less as this performance and more as a joined experience, then you won't feel that pressure, and you'll be able to relax. Because honestly, like, your energy sets the tone for the event. So how you're feeling, and if you're able to have fun and sit down and relax and party with people, like, that sets the tone. Because a lot of times when you're hosting, people don't necessarily know each other. It's not like everyone's always best friends and they all know each other. Like, these are people that you're bringing from different parts of your life together. And so it really is up to you to set that tone of how you want the evening to go. If you pour yourself a glass and you sit down and you enjoy your party, everyone else is going to enjoy the party as well. The camera is dying, but you guys get the point. I want to encourage you to host this holiday season if it's on your heart to do so, and do not let the fear of perfectionism or the fear of it not looking Pinterest worthy stop you from inviting people into your home and into your life. I think this is a really important season to do that. I'm very excited to host events this season and to attend events this season, and I hope this video encouraged you guys to do the same. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I will see you in another video on Friday, so keep your eyes out for that. I'm doing a what we eat in a week as a small family of 2 video because I've gotten that requested quite a bit. So keep your eyes out for that on Friday, and I will catch you guys in another video. You can find me on Instagram at _thefemininefancy_. You can find me on my blog at thefemininefancy.com, and you can also find me on Patreon at thefemininefancy. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.